Join us on my channel today as we highlight Russia's generous offer of significant humanitarian assistance to Niger. On Friday, May 3rd, 2024, the Russian Federation delivered 5 tons of essential supplies and food to the Republic of Niger. A Russian Illinois 76 transport aircraft touched down at Diori Hamani Airport in Niamey carrying the much-needed aid. The cargo, comprising foodstuffs and basic necessities, was swiftly collected by Nigerian army trucks and distributed to those in need. This donation exemplifies the strong diplomatic and friendly ties between the Russian Federation and the Republic of Niger. This humanitarian assistance coincides with discussions between Niamey and Washington regarding the schedule for the withdrawal of American troops from Niger. Niger faces its most severe food security crisis of the decade, with 4.4 million people requiring urgent humanitarian aid. This situation is compounded by escalating security challenges in the Sahel region, exacerbating socio-economic vulnerabilities. Aligned with the IFRC's Pan-African Initiative Zero Hunger, the IFRC is outlining its operational strategy to enact its emergency appeal for food insecurity crisis, aimed at bolstering the Red Cross Society of Niger's efforts to expand humanitarian assistance in affected areas of the country. In Niger, over 4 million households are grappling with the dire consequences of food insecurity stemming from consecutive failed rainy seasons and decades of escalating desertification in the Sahel region. Men, women, and children lack sufficient access to food, facing numerous threats to their well-being, including natural disasters such as climate variations, droughts, and wildfires, as well as epidemics like measles, malaria, meningitis, and cholera. Moreover, insecurity exacerbates the situation, prompting population displacement and resource competition. The severity of the food insecurity crisis is underscored by findings from the Cadre Harmonies IPC, which indicate that between 2.5 and 3.3 million people across the country are currently food insecure phase 3 to 5, according to the Integrated Food Security Phase classification. Additionally, between 3.6 and 4.4 million people are projected to face food insecurity by August 2022 due to a delayed rainy season, erratic rainfall patterns, prolonged droughts, and heightened risks of flooding, resulting in crop losses, property damage, and loss of both animal and human lives in vulnerable areas. The pastoral season in Niger now occurs earlier each year due to challenges in livestock feeding, water availability, and fodder shortages. Consequently, herd movements are disrupted by the security situation, leading to livestock concentration in secure zones and increasing the risk of conflicts between farmers and the spread of animal diseases. Every 6 months, governments and stakeholders, including the Red Cross Red Crescent movement, conduct a comprehensive examination of food security and livelihoods in the Sahel and West Africa sub-regions. And in the 2021 to 2022 cropping seasons, cereal production experienced a significant decline of 39%, resulting in a gross deficit of 2 million tons across all regions in Niger. Factors such as the failed agricultural season, border closures due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and insecurity have disrupted agricultural markets. Consequently, there has been a noticeable increase in inflation and the prices of essential food staples and livestock, with some experiencing spikes of over 40% compared to the average of the past 5 years. Additionally, the ongoing crisis in Ukraine has worsened the situation by exacerbating inflation and driving up prices for agricultural products, notably wheat, rice, and fertilizers. Nutritional challenges plague the population of Niger, exacerbated by insufficient uptake of vital nutrients and poor nutritional practices. The country reports 2.3 million individuals requiring either curative or preventive nutritional assistance, with 457,200 children under 5 suffering from severe acute malnutrition (SAM). Insecurity in rural areas has shuttered health centers or disrupted services, compounding the issue, particularly as the lean season approaches. With only 56% accessing safe drinking water and minimal sanitation facilities available, conditions are ripe for disease outbreaks, further straining the nutritional landscape. Inaction will perpetuate food insecurity, escalating malnutrition rates, and susceptibility to diseases and epidemics. As agricultural losses mount, more individuals will fall into food insecurity, evidenced by the production shortfall against consumption needs for staple cereals. Meanwhile, weakened immune systems from malnutrition heighten vulnerability to diseases like malaria, measles, and meningitis, increasing morbidity and mortality rates. Contrary to the long-standing claims of Russian propaganda, which has been propagated through channels like the Kremlin-sponsored Russia Today in France and across Africa, the recent coups in the Sahel region were evidently well coordinated by Moscow. This was swiftly demonstrated by the actions of the coup leaders. Following their seizure of power, the junta in Niamey renounced previous security agreements with European nations and promptly hosted a high-profile visit from a Russian official, mirroring similar actions taken by new military regimes in Mali and Burkina Faso. On December 4th, General Chiani ceremoniously received the Russian Deputy Defense Minister, Colonel General Yunus Bekyevkorov. the Nigerian government announced an enhancement of defense cooperation with Moscow and the signing of a confidential protocol. Deputy Minister Yev Kurov also held discussions with Niger's Defense Minister, General Salifo Modi, who is regarded as the country's second most powerful figure. In a statement directed at the European Union delegation in Niamey, the government also criticized the two agreements regulating European assistance to Niger's defense and security forces. They requested the departure of UCAP Sahel, a civilian mission established in 2012 to aid border security, and EUMPM Niger, a military mission created in 2022 to support Nigerian soldiers combating terrorism. This move suggests a favorable environment for the arrival of Russia's Wagner Group in Niger. It's worth mentioning that Mr. Yev Kurov reportedly leads the Africa Corps, an alleged initiative by the Kremlin to integrate Wagner's paramilitary activities on the continent following the death of its founder, Yevgeny Prigozhin. Certainly, pro-Russian sentiment has historical roots in the Sahel region. During decolonization from the 1950s onwards, the Soviet Union cultivated strong relationships with several African nations, offering support in their quests for independence. Throughout the Cold War era, Moscow trained numerous African leaders and intellectuals. Notably, Niger's Abdulmumuni Diafo, a key figure in the African Independence Party, became the first African associate professor of physical sciences after receiving education in the Soviet Union. Today, he is honored as the namesake of the University of Niamey. However, Niger's recent shift away from Western alliances encompasses more than just Russia. In January, Nigerian Prime Minister Ali Lamin Zina visited Tehran, where he signed agreements with Iran's vice president focusing on cooperation in energy, health, and finance, all under the banner of mutual support between two nations seeing themselves as victims of domination systems. Niger aims to reinvigorate collaboration with the Islamic Republic, stated Mr. Zine. Following the signing of these agreements, Iran, alongside Russia, constitutes an increasingly influential anti-Western coalition seeking African backing, particularly within the United Nations framework. Thank you for tuning in to my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content. See you in the next video.